Welcome to the show, everyone. We're your hosts, Grant Cohn, Coach Noah Johnston. Are you in Brazil still? Or are you home?
I'm in Brazil.
We're so international, although I never really leave my bedroom, but I stream with people who are all over the world. The 49ers are playing in the NFC Championship game thanks to just phenomenal defense and an act of divine intervention. God is apparently a 49er fan or really doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. It might be the latter because all the stuff Aaron Rodgers has been doing this year. I don't know. But I don't know what it was, but God reached down. I was there. I saw some people think it was Jordan Wilson.
Yeah.
It was God.
Yeah.
God reached down.
Special teams God.
Yeah, special teams God blocked the punt in the Niners. So that's why the Niners are still playing, and it's very cool. But they're 3.5-point underdogs against a team they've literally beaten 6 times in a row. So we're going to get there. First, there is some news, and maybe this is part of the reason why the Niners are 3.5-point underdogs. Trent Williams' status is really murky. I didn't see him get injured during the game. Maybe you did. After the game, leaving as we were waiting in the post-game press area, he limped out. Didn't limp out, crutches. No weight on the right foot, crutches wrapped up. And then yesterday on the conference call, Kyle was kind of blasé about it. Like, yeah, ankle. Well, we don't really know that much about it. It's kind of like Jordan Willis's, and everyone was like, whoa. Kind of like Jordan Willis's. Last week you said Jordan Willis had a high ankle sprain. He was like, well, yeah, we thought so at first, but then as the week went on, we realized we were wrong. And so he's basically saying, like, we have no idea what Trent Williams' ankle injury is, and we'll probably know by the end of the week. That's not great. Not bad, but not great.
The good news is that they did beat the Rams last time without Trent Williams, and they needed that win.
True.
If they didn't do that, none of this would all be happening because they would have been out of the playoffs. So
that is certainly true.
They have that going for them.
So what we're trying to say is that Trent Williams is horribly overrated.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it can be done. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, and the Niners know it's not impossible because they've done it before. So they have a plan for it. I guess the bad news would be the Rams have seen that plan. So they can construct a way to take advantage of that plan if the Niners can't execute it again.
I guess the only other thing would be like, they did win against the Rams, and it felt like a playoff game because it was the last game of the season, winner, go home. But this is really a playoff game. It's the NFC Championship game, and now you got Colton McKivitz back in there. He did well the first time. I mean, Daniel Brunskill does well against the Rams, but it's kind of scary. I mean, the Niners are paying all this money for Trent Williams to be there in the NFC Championship game, and he is struggling right now, whether it's ankle, elbow, limping to the finish.
I think, well, let's see if he plays before we I will say this. I think it doesn't really change much of the 49ers plan, which is they need to run the football. That's their best pass protector is Elijah Mitchell and running the football. So if they can't do that, then Trent Williams not being there really becomes a problem. I think Trent Williams obviously is excellent in the run game. We saw it last week. We see it every week. He's a difference there. However, they can get by without him. It's more difficult, but they can do it.
Doesn't it seem like really all their offensive linemen are good run blockers? Like obviously Trent Williams is the best by far, of course, but all their offensive linemen are good run blockers, and I'm sure Colton McKivitz can do the Niners run game just fine. It's the pass protection that's the issue, but really none of the Niners offensive linemen are good in pass protection except for Trent Williams, and having it helps having a good left tackle, but the other 4 guys being subpar, you see the effect on Jimmy Garoppolo in the offense every week. So Trent Williams is great, but I always have kind of questioned his impact and value on the offense. Like, you didn't really notice that he didn't play against the Rams a couple of weeks ago. Didn't notice.
Yeah,
I mean, there might have been a couple of plays where Colton McKivitz got exposed in pass protection, but it probably was 1 or 2 plays.
I guess you maybe want to look at if it'd be interesting. I don't know in what world you'd have to do it in some sort of alternate dimension where the Niners don't have Trent Williams, and I think ultimately they would have accumulated more sacks, and they would have had more sack fumbles and all that stuff because that blind side wouldn't be protected. I don't know that you can necessarily look at one moment or one instance where a left tackle is going to make a difference. I think it's a cumulative effect throughout an entire season. And then in moments where you can eliminate or really help control a superior edge guy. The Rams, I know Von Miller is good, but he's not the Von Miller of old. The Rams' best pass rusher, I don't know, is Aaron Donald, and most of the time, Trent Williams is not going to be on Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's not going to be on Trent Williams.
So,
he's going up Daddy Brunskill.
That's true. I mean, look, it's up to you how concerned you want to be about this, about Trent Williams' potential absence. It's good to know that the Niners won without him last time against the Rams, but you got to know that this is a story to monitor throughout the week. The Niners basically, Kyle said yesterday, he has no idea. They got good news. Basically, last week, they were in the same situation with Jordan Willis. They didn't know if it was a high ankle sprain or a low ankle sprain. They couldn't tell because there were some old injuries in there that were kind of messing up the MRI or whatever. And by the end of the week, they realized it was just a low ankle sprain and he was cool. They're hoping they get the same good news with Trent Williams this week, but they don't know. And it could go either way.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And if it's a high ankle sprain, this is probably more than just the NFC Championship game if the Niners win.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation because it feels a little bit like deja vu, like last week, the conversation we had about Nick Bosa and Nick Bosa's impact on this game. Looking back at it, we had said they could win this game without Nick Bosa. I thought Nick Bosa would have more of an impact than you did, or was more important a little bit than you did. However, I agreed that they could win it. It would just be more difficult. But I think looking back at this game, I don't know if they win Saturday without Nick Bosa. Yeah, he had 2 sacks. He had a sack, a forced fumble that stopped. Could we be having this conversation next week and be like, Von Miller goes off and Trent Williams isn't playing? We're like, well, Trent Williams' absence did have a huge impact on the game.
You're right. You're probably right, and you're probably right. Before we move on, I just want to say that it's true that the Niners couldn't have won without Bosa last week, and he was great. The defense was great, but it still took an act of God for the Niners to win.
Yeah.
An action. We talk about the Music City Miracle. That was a miracle. That was a miracle. Right. I don't know who blocked that punt, and then it was just chilling on the ground, and no one knew where it was. I've never seen anything like that. That was a miracle. God was like, "Hold on, this game is boring. Let me spice this up." So shout out to God for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to God for letting Bosa pass his concussion protocol in 6 days or 5 days, right?
Why are people acting like the last 6 wins never happened? Yeah, let's talk about it. So the Rams are 3.5-point favorites, and what's interesting is they opened at 3, and now it's 3.5. Some sports books have it at 4. And to me, the movement probably has a lot to do with Trent Williams' injury. You could argue on how big of an impact that really is, but 3 moving closer to 4, and this is a rivalry where one team has won 6 times in a row, and it's the underdog. And it's like the other team has the home field advantage. There's going to be more Niner fans there. Okay, so before we just argue this, can you explain to me why the Rams are creeping up on 4-point favorites here? Why?
Well, number one, they have a better quarterback, and it's by far. You can say what you want. I'm not a big Matt Stafford believer, but what Matt Stafford is doing right now in the playoffs, what his interception percent is right now in the playoffs?
I think it's 0. You know what his quarterback rating is right now? In the playoffs?
6 million.
131.5. So yeah, that's a good one. Like, here's the thing. I was on the radio in Seattle yesterday. They like calling me up because I'm pretty loose with my criticisms of the Niners, and they think it's funny. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I think most of us expect the Niners to win this game because they kind of sort of have the psychological edge over the Rams, the way the Seahawks have it over the Niners. I think we all expect the Niners to win this game, and they were just like, whoa. No, we wouldn't expect that at all. I mean, this is the 3rd game they've played, and the Rams, and I was like, really? To me, the Rams are soft, and they can't run the ball. And they gave up a 17-point lead to the Niners a few weeks ago, and to us a couple of days ago, they almost lost after being up 27-3. So I don't really think that much of the Rams, even though they're extremely talented. I think it's kind of to me, this is like trying to prey on casual bettors in Southern California, like they do with Laker fans and stuff like that. I think there's a little bit of that going on. I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't know.
The Rams are still a really good football team. They're in the NFC Championship game. You only have 5 losses on the year. They're still a really good football game. The Niners aren't playing some chumps, like they do have their number, but that doesn't mean the 49ers can just walk on the field and be like, okay, we're here, and win the game.
Here's the biggest reason though that the Niners are 3.5-point dogs.
I think it's what you just talked about. Like the Niners had Jimmy, and they've needed acts of God to win football. Like, it's
Niner
like,
fans are really happy right now. They're acting like doesn't matter, we won, doesn't matter. But like you're gonna lose the game 10-6. That was gonna happen. Yeah. Defense played great, but the Packers played better defense, and you won because God scored 7 points for you. It was really, it was so charitable. It was crazy. It was really weird for him to pick sides like that, but I guess that's what happens, Aaron.
They won because the 49ers have a bad special team play, but they were nowhere as bad as Green Bay.
The Green Bay deserved that. They went all year with the worst special teams in the league. Everyone knew it. I did a preview series with the publisher of Packers thing for SI with me, and he did a whole article about like this is outrageously bad in every single metric. Like you deserve to lose. You had the best quarterback, the best defense, and you let that ruin your season. That's on you. It's your fault.
It goes to show you special teams matters.
It does. It matters. It really, you're not really going to win. You're not going to become champions because of your special teams, but you can definitely lose. And that's why Kyle says we just don't want to lose on special teams. The Packers literally lost on special teams. You get fired for doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and the Niners have lost some games this year in special teams.
They have. Yes, absolutely. They have. You could say both Seattle games they lost on special teams. Both Seattle games.
First
they had it fumbled deep in their territory. The second one they gave up the punt return and had a fumble deep in their own. It was like both Seattle games. Yeah.
You want to talk about acts of God? Like how many times would Travis Benjamin gets the ball? You like, it's like.
But no, let's come back though. Why are the Rams 3.5-point favorites? Because people nationally aren't caught up in the emotion of winning like Niner fans are.
Absolutely.
They're back and they're looking like, okay, well, cool. The Niners beat the Packers. Still, their quarterback has a pass rating of 63, and this quarterback has a pass rating of 131. And the last time the Niners and Rams faced each other, it came down to it was overtime, right? Overtime. So
overtime, the Niners had to make an incredible comeback. You know.
Jimmy's play has gotten worse in the playoffs. Plus, he's hurt. Stafford's play has gotten better in the playoffs, and he's not hurt. So I think those are the reasons that the Rams are favorites. But I still don't trust him. I do not trust that team. I don't think much of that team. I'm sorry. I know. I'm impressed with Stafford. It's not his fault that they don't have an offensive line or a run game. It's not his fault, but they don't.
Well, hold on. Kinda, it is his fault because if Wilder don't have
Goff's fault.
And we talked about this before. Like if you're gonna throw all your chips in the table, in the front of the table, Vish talked about I think why their center play has been terrible. I believe they let their center walk in free agency, right? Like I think their center walked in free agency, but they had to let guys walk in free agency. Why? Because they're paying top dollar for three players.
True. William is a new member. Thank you, William. John says, "Is that Grant copying Jimmy Stubble all love?" Hold on. For the record, I've been rocking the sexy stubble since 2008. I used to, when I first got the ability to grow facial hair, I went with the chin strap, which was a rookie mistake. I did that in 2007, around the same time that chubby Kevin Love had it at UCLA. It was a thing, the chin strap, and it was really a bad move. And I got an internship at my brother's company. I was sitting next in a cubicle to a lady who's about 30, a little bit older, and she was like, "Hey, you got to ditch that and just go with the stubble." I've been rocking it ever since. So I don't know where she is now, but thank you. I've been rocking this since Jimmy was in like high school. So just saying.
There you go.
Yeah, that really cut deep. How could you say that about me? There's video evidence of me rocking this. Get out of here. If ankle can be stabilized and meds applied, he should play. His record and all-pro status are not in jeopardy.
No, but we're not debating his.
It's hard to play at the high ankles right now.
Is all-pro status. We are debating whether or not it's going to impact the 49ers in the game.
If it's a low ankle sprain, he'll play. If it's a high ankle sprain, I don't know if his season could be over. It's a really serious injury. Just say he tried. I don't know if it'll work. Hope the Niners don't make the Super Bowl because they will lose because of Jimmy, and it'll be more frustrating than 2019, especially if it's against Kansas City. Yeah, I think Niner fans are already bracing for it. It's like they're really setting the Niner fans up again for like real heartbreak, Yeah. They were emotionally prepared to go out in round 1 or 2, but now it's like,
I think watching the Bills Chiefs, like you see what special quarterback play can do. Like those defenses aren't the 49ers defense, but like it's hard to hold down talents like that for long periods of time.
I tweeted about Josh Allen that night when he lost, before he lost, and then after he lost, I got so many Jimmy Garoppolo fans in my mentions being like, "Josh Allen's at home now. What Jimmy? Where? Jimmy won." Like, yeah, you're right. Jimmy's better than Josh Allen. Rams are favored because they're considered consensus most complete team remaining, and that's true. Yeah, but they don't match up with the 49ers. How many times
they don't?
It's a terrible matchup for them.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup. They still struggle to run the football.
Or stop the run. Mm-hmm. Other than that, they're great. No, really, I mean, like they're a terrible matchup for the Bucs. The Bucs didn't have a strong enough run game. They didn't commit to it enough. Yeah.
Let's time out. Let's not act like they started to blow out the Bucs, but what did the Bucs then do? The Bucs kind of did what the Niners did. They just didn't finish it.
That's true.
Right. So
it was just a bigger deficit. You're right. When you have a quarterback that averages 60 QBR and 100 yards per game, you'll be the underdog most of the time. That's true. That's it.
And Grant, how do you when you have a big lead, how do you close that out?
Run the ball. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't trust the Rams. They could go up 17-0 again, but what are you going to do? You're still going to have to run the ball. You're not going to be able to do it. Jimmy won't throw a pick this next game against the Rams. Niners defense will scare Stafford all game long for his first pick in the playoffs. Chris Holt, that's a $5 prediction. Chris, if you donate $10, it's more likely for it to come true. I'm just saying that's what I heard. Because God's watching this too. God blocked the punt.
I will say this, like I tweeted this morning, Stafford is undefeated when he doesn't throw a pick, so that's going to be a key to the game.
Undefeated when he doesn't throw a pick this season.
Undefeated this season when he doesn't throw a pick.
Is Jimmy the same?
Isn't he? I think has one loss. No, he's still undefeated.
I think undefeated. Yeah,
he's undefeated. Well, yeah.
This is about which guy doesn't lose the game.
Right.
Who's it going to be? I don't know. I
don't know. And Stafford interception percentage is zero, and Jimmy's is in this playoff is 4.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. He threw a pick on his 9th throw in Green Bay. It's hard to avoid that.
And he's throwing the least times out of all the quarterbacks.
Other than that, having a great season. Jimmy has been so bad that a regression to the mean has to be on the way, which in this case would benefit us. Here's the thing, though. This is sort of his track record in the playoffs. Like, this is his – regressing to the regular season mean. Also, he's injured.
Yeah.
So, he might be a bad playoff quarterback, guys. I'm just saying. What point to the good playoff performance he's had? Which game? Which game was it? Was it the Packers game? The first one where he threw 8 passes and won? The eight pass game. He was 6 of 8, man. That was great. It was domination. That was it. He wasn't great against Kansas City. He wasn't great against the Vikings. He was decent for 2 quarters against the Cowboys, and then he got hurt or something or whatever. And then he wasn't good in Green Bay. He was awful in Green Bay. So I don't know, man. Regression to the – I'd like to see one complete good playoff performance from Jimmy G first before I talk about regression.
Yeah, I just thought of 2 more acts of God. How about the 2 pick sixes that could have been and that weren't?
God is just a blatant 49ers homer. Did some crazy team take Jimmy from us over it? I don't know, man. Because I was like – Again, I was on the radio in Seattle, and they were saying, why are they still starting Jimmy? He's awful. I was like, yeah, I think they can win with him anyway, and that they'll trade him in the offseason, and this run will boost his trade value. I said, do you guys think that this run is boosting Jimmy Garoppolo's trade value? And they're like, no. So I nationally, I don't think anyone's looking at the Niners team and be like, man, Jimmy has totally taken his game to the next level. Everyone's perception of the Niners is that it's so impressive what they're doing, considering what their quarterback is. That's what the perception is. Yeah, that's the correct perception. Also,
I'm all for this run, and I want the 49ers to win the Super Bowl and all of that. But it's going to be super exciting this offseason to see how much the 49ers get for Jimmy, and if they do trade him, which I think they will. But how much? What will they get for him?
I really want to see him win the Super Bowl, Jimmy. Keep playing like this. Throw no touchdowns and 1 pick a game, but take the credit after the rest of the team bails you out, and see if the Niners get more than 3rd for you or 4th. I don't know. Joel says, did the Rams Tampa game expose any new weaknesses we can use against them? And would Jameis Winston be a perfect backup for Trey Lance next season? I think Jameis is going to start next season somewhere. Jameis looked good this year before he got hurt.
I thought the last game showed you what the Rams' weaknesses have been all season. They can't run the football. So if they get up, they can't close you out. So they can't stop the run. So there you go. Like that's been their weakness all year. But you know what? They're still a good football team. And they managed that one out. Stafford showing us that he can play in clutch moments. And so they were able to close that one out. Who knows if they play that game?
The surest way to beat the 49ers, don't turn the ball over.
Absolutely, because you know that you're going to
turn the ball over against the Niners this year, 4-1. Because the Niners turn the ball over.
Yes.
All you got to do is not turn the ball over. Because you don't have to score. You can score 17, 20 points, and you'll win. Because the Niners' offense is really inconsistent, and it turns the ball over. So
correct.
I'm saying that's what Tennessee did. They didn't play good offense against the Niners. They just didn't turn the ball over. The Niners lost.
Yeah.
Beat themselves.
Let Jimmy turn the ball over for you.
And the Packers tried, but Mercedes Lewis fumbled, block, field goal, block, punt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jimmy's mistake didn't lose the game. It was about to. They were Niners going to lose 10-6. It was about to, but then God came down, and rest is history. So.
Yeah. About to. I had lots of tweets ready. I'm sure you did too.
I had a lot. They were great tweets.
Yeah.
He says if he's going to make rookie mistakes, we may as well start the rookie. At least I think he'd give us more highs. Jimmy's injured. That's the thing about he's injured. I don't see how his play is going to get better. He needs surgery. They all say this. But the thing about it is to me, he can't even blame the injury. It's just bad decisions. And a guy who to me doesn't seem like he's up for the moment. I know people say he's clutch and he's calm and he makes these speeches. I'm like, whatever, dude. Look at your consistently bad play in the playoffs. I don't think you're ready for the moment. You messed up a quarterback sneak with game on the line. You needed an inch, and you're a quarterback sneak master. So I can only think that it was nerves. Kyle said you got excited. That is code for you choked. So I don't know. You're supposed to be calm, cool, and collected.
I do think intangibilities matter. I do think there is something to leadership and a presence. However, I don't think Jimmy's decision making makes up for that. I do think there's something to that. However, bad decision making leadership doesn't make up for bad decision making. Those
IQ is so low, man. I've never seen him throw the ball away. Does he know you're allowed to throw the ball away? There's a rule. You can, if you get outside the tackle box, you can throw the ball out of bounds. Right. You're allowed to do that. I swear you can look it up, Jimmy. It's called throwing the ball away. Now, technically, it's an incomplete pass, but it's better than an interception or a sack sometimes. And Kyle often says, Jimmy throws a pick, and you're like, hey, Kyle, what did you tell Jimmy to do on that? What was the coaching point on that one? Take the sack or throw the ball away. I've never seen him throw the ball away, ever. So I don't know. Where is the football IQ on this man? What is it? I'm sorry. I mean, he has some talents. He's not bad, but football IQ is not part of his repertoire. He's, a YOLO. He's just, his whole thing is I'm turning off my entire governor in my brain and saying YOLO when we play. That's what he does. Throwing it up. Okay. And some people love that because, it works out sometimes. His interception in the Super Bowl still is one of the funniest interceptions of all time. He closed his eyes, threw it up, said YOLO. I think I heard him say YOLO. You know what I'm talking about? He got hit. It was just wow, dude, this is Super Bowl. I'm sorry. We can win with the vet. Nate Sudfeld, play the kid. Play the kid. We got to make that shirt, man. Play the kid. Hashtag. Ricky D says, act of God, Norman comes in for one play and intercepts Stafford, sealing the win. When is his luck going to run out, though? Because God is heavily in the 49ers' favor. I don't know. Heavily. Is this going to all run out like it did for the Niners in Seattle in the fourth quarter? Are the Niners going to turn into a pumpkin like Cinderella? What is happening here?
The 49ers are just going to win games on Richard Hightower and D'Amico Ryan, the backs of it's
in 5 playoff games. Jimmy has 2 touchdowns and 6 total turnovers. Even more glaring is out of the 120 total points the Niners have scored in those 5 games, Jimmy is only responsible for 14 of those points. That is so impressive for the rest of the team that they can work. I've never heard of a contender working around a quarterback like that. That's like college. That's something like Wisconsin would do. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, Kyle. I got to give Kyle credit for that, man. Damn. And Bobby Turner and the defense. Jimmy, man. And Jimmy at the end of games, he's like, it's so great. Like he's Rocky Balboa. It's so good.
F Green Bay. He said it. He said, F Green
Bay. 175 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Let's go. Love that. Stephen A. replicated your personation of Jimmy. I feel like all the people been watching me for Niner takes. Everyone, all the national people be like, oh man, I don't follow the Niners at all. What are we gonna do? Oh, I heard there's a really good YouTube channel. Coach Noah Johnston. That's what I think's going on. Nick Wright.
They got it. Listen, the arsonist, they got that from you.
No question about it. Nick Wright with your toupee, bundle Kyle and Jimmy in trade packages to Denver for 2 firsts and Darby. I don't think they're going to trade Kyle right now. Hold on. Kyle, although Kyle's offense is kind of weak right now, just saying, he's really – Richard Hightower's bailing him out. I'm just kidding.
Like, who would have thought we would be saying that Richard Hightower saved the 49ers season?
It was God. Sorry. I agree. I was there. Jimmy G is not good. Have a great day. Some people will tell you he is, though. It's just his aura. Really, Juszczyk said that. It was his aura. Jacob Mayhew says, watch Jimmy throw 2 picks in the Super Bowl and still get all the credit. Can't wait for the kid and people who are saying he isn't ready. Look at his last 2 games and see how he progressed. Imagine if he played all season. Oh, that's one of our topics. And since you paid $20, I guess we can just jump it to the front because it was going to be the last topic, but you just read our freaking mind. So how about this? Where would the Niners be if they had started Trey Lance all season? I saw some analysts in the Bay saying that this win over the Packers that featured the act of God proves that starting Jimmy Garoppolo was the right choice all season. And I was like, first of all, unless you're saying that Jimmy Garoppolo can make divine intervention happen, I don't see that. So I don't know. Where would the Niners be right? Would the Niners have missed the play? What do you think if the Trey Lance had started all season?
I probably think that they would probably be in the same spot that they are right now.
I think that too, Coach.
Now, the thing is, now if they have
a really good defense that's forced like freaking 17 turnovers in the last 2 months, and their run game's phenomenal, and their coaches are all doing really well. Their pass rush, and they have everything. So yeah, it's really easy. And you can see, you have a quarterback who's legitimately injured and playing awful, and they're still winning. How could they not be in the same position? What could Trey Lance do worse than the arsonist? I don't get it.
The 49ers have the 49ers.
He's busy.
I'm busy. I'm on the the 49ers have played the same style all year, and every time Trey Lance has been in a game, the next game he plays, he's better, right?
Yes,
so I think the whole point. Would I believe you were a proponent of this, Jesse? We all said that Trey would get better every game and progress, right? So
we saw that he did. We saw
the first game he might have not been as good as Jimmy, right? But we were saying as you played him, the end of the season, you would have something better than Jimmy. Better than Jimmy, okay?
And everyone says like, it's kind of hard to say just start Trey Lance in the NFC Championship game in his 3rd career start. Yeah, that is unfair to him. But if he had started all year, you might have a quarterback in the playoffs right now whose quarterback rating is higher than 63. You might. Yeah. I'm just saying you might. I think you probably would.
Probably.
I mean, if the Niners can win in spite of Jimmy, why can't they win in spite of Trey? Why can't they win in spite of someone who's way more gifted? Why? That
was my whole argument for drafting a rookie quarterback last year, was that if you could do all this stuff for Jimmy, why can't you do it for a rookie? Like,
yeah, you're winning in spite of Jimmy. Everyone's like, oh, look at the record with Jimmy. Great. You're winning in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just better than Brian Hoyer, Nick Mullins, and CJ Beathard. That's all he's proven. You can win in spite of Trey Lance. And you know what? You may not be winning in spite of Trey Lance. In fact, if he were playing right now with all this supporting cast around him, I mean, the best run game, the best weapons, the best defense, he might have a respectable quarterback rating. He just might. I mean, he did against Houston. I'm just saying. So, look, I think the Niners would be better off right now if they started Trey Lance all season. I think every Niner fan deep down knows it. So if the Niners go on and win the Super Bowl, great. But saving that, I think they would be the team to beat right now with a more talented quarterback. If they had a quarterback whose quarterback rating was in the 80s instead of the 60s right now, you look at this team and saying, man, there's no one who can stop this team. No one who can stop this team. You know who can stop this team? I know one person who can stop the 49ers. James Garoppolo. He's on a mission, man. He almost did it in Green Bay, but God came down and you know.
Not today, Jimmy.
Not today, Jimmy. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe God's going to be busy next week. You don't know what God. He has a very complicated calendar. Can't count on that. You can't put that in the game plan. So I'm just saying, it's a shame. And I'm going to say I told you so as soon as the Niners lose, but they still could win. They really still could, which is crazy about this whole thing because God's involved. And once God gets involved, what am I going to do? Quality control can only go so far. Chairman of the court. No, it's not. This team is much more like the 2000 Ravens, in my opinion. They are getting nothing. No, man. Even that Ravens team, at least Dilfer wasn't throwing picks. I don't know what this team. I've never seen a team go this far with a quarterback who's just got an interception percentage of 5 and a touchdown percentage of like what 2.
I thought if the 49ers were going to make a run to the Super Bowl with Jimmy was going to have to change. Like he was going to have to not throw picks in the playoffs. That's what Eli did. You know, that's what Dilfer did. They became more conservative, or they played better. They had a revelation. Whatever it did is they started to eliminate their picks. Jimmy has not done that. He's thrown a pick in every single game, in every single playoff game.
And so defense and special teams are offsetting this. Fred Warner strips Mercedes Lewis in the first quarter. Boom. That gave Jimmy Garoppolo credit. It's like, go ahead, throw your pick. We got you already. We already got a turnover. And then Jimmy Ward for good measure. And then that wasn't enough because they would have lost. That wasn't enough. And then Talanoa Fanga and the whole gang. That was great. But yeah, that's how close it was. I don't know what this. I've never seen a team like this, man. I can't even explain this.
And these picks, they directly correlate to points. They either stop a 49ers drive or they give the other team a great field position to score. So it's not like he's throwing a pick in the middle of the field or he's throwing a pick like on, you know, the other team's 30 and it's just like a kickoff. No, like these have direct impacts on the scoring plays.
Dad's Fitness says sub Grant, Debo and Wildcat and Silverback TD catch. All right, put the Silverback part to the side for a second. You bringing too many things to my brain. I like the first thing. Hold on. Can we get Jimmy Garoppolo off the field and just go Wildcat Debo? I mean, that's what you want to do anyway, right? You want to run the ball with Debo Samuel, and all Jimmy Garoppolo is there to do is to take the snap from under center and to hand it to Debo, and then he's out. Why not? Why not? Can we get a Wildcat package, though? I'm just saying this is a great idea. I wish I had thought of this. This is brilliant.
Grant, you don't need a Wildcat. You don't need a Wildcat package. You have the quarterback to do this on the sideline. Like it's
Seinfeld. No.
Yeah.
If the Niners are losing and if Jimmy Garoppolo throws another pick, if he throws one more pick, I want Wildcat. Wildcat Debo. I want Debo to be the quarterback. Debo makes better decisions in the pocket, I think. I think Debo has a higher football IQ than Jimmy Garoppolo. There's no question about it. I like this suggestion. Thank you. Niners win 34-24. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 3 TDs, 2 to Kittle. I think Jimmy Garoppolo makes an appearance this week just to get spanked by the Chiefs next week. Lands 2K22. Well, could be. He has done well against the Rams. I'm making that shirt soon, Grant. Play the kid, Trey area. Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah. Go for it. You have my blessing. Play the kid. I like it because it's kind of a Purple Rain reference. The kid was Prince's reference character.
Right.
Jimmy Garoppolo interview with Aaron Andrews. He said, "If you're a good person, good." I love the way he sees himself, man. He's so professional. If you're a good person, good things happen. Equal to a Miss Universe answer. LOL. God listens to good-looking people. It's true. That's why God helped, because Jimmy was a good person all year, and Aaron Rodgers was out there spreading misinformation. That's what happened.
Was that a dig towards?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Jimmy is the white Jameis Winston. I like Jameis. Jameis has more talent, but Jameis looked good before he got hurt in New Orleans last year. I thought he was good. My best man is on team. Ask him about Trey. Hold on. My best man is on team. Ask him about Trey. Said Trey athletic, but knows 5% of the playbook, still can't go through progressions, panics, and team doesn't trust him. Number one in locker rooms thinks – no one in locker room thinks Trey is better. His best man is on the team. Who's your best man, D'Angelo?
Raphael Sadiq.
Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know what? Remember when D'Angelo and
Oh yeah. There you go.
yeah.
Knows 5% of the playbook. Wow. I don't buy that.
That's not what Kyle said. Kyle said he knows all of it.
Yeah, he looked like he could execute everything against the Texans. I'm sorry. You could have put freaking Jimmy against the Texans. He'd still be throwing the same slants and stuff. So I don't know about that, man.
I do think that there might be something. There's something to that about the locker room, not.
I want to say something. I heard before the Houston game that he had the locker room thought Trey Lance had a really bad week of practice and was going to struggle against Houston. They were wrong. You know what? Safeties and corners and DBs, linebackers aren't always the best judge of quarterbacks. Sometimes you gotta let a dude go out there and play a game and for 4 quarters and see what happens. In practice, you throw like 20 throws. The Niners defense wasn't right about Trey Lance, what he was going to do against you. I'm freaking shocked, man. Why don't you just focus on playing linebacker? Whatever it is that you do, and let's let the 21-year-old kid play 4 quarters. Oh, he improved? Wow. What a shock. Oh, Jimmy didn't again? Oh, wow. What a shock. Sorry.
We've got a saying for in coaching. Coaches coach, players play. Like we don't need you to coach and make personnel decisions and all that. Just play.
You're not a scout. You're not a coach. You're a safety. Grant, you never responded to my super chat. Best thing about Jimmy is his jawline. I didn't see that one. Sorry about that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is it? Does he have a good jawline? Everyone says he has a good jawline. What's so good about it? I have a good jaw. You have a good jawline. I like our jawlines. Just gonna my jawline's harder. Foxworth on ESPN called for Lance to start. Have you watched the last 2 games? Case closed. Played the kid. Thank you. I mean, I feel like everyone around the country is like, man, this guy's awful. And then I was like, all he does is win. Okay, until the Niners eventually lose, and then you're going to be like, yeah, we were really rooting for a guy with a 63 quarterback rating. I guess we and a thumb that needs surgery. I guess jokes on us.
Yeah, I feel like that it's kind of a missed opportunity though, right? Because the whole point and that we've been making is that play him early so he gets better, he gets experience. Like if Trey Lance had to step into this game Sunday and he didn't look super efficient, well, people go, oh, well, see, you're right. Don't play Trey Lance. Well, he
should have been playing way.
Yeah, right. He should have had experience, right? Yeah. He should have had experience. He should have gotten all the reps in practice. He should have gotten all of that.
Yeah, because he would have improved. And Grant, in the last 21 Super Bowls, only one quarterback has won it that never went to a Pro Bowl. Who was it? There's your data for how good of a quarterback you need. In the last 21 Super Bowls, only one quarterback has won it that never went to a Pro Bowl. Who was it?
So Trent
Foles went to a Pro Bowl. Foles went to a Pro Bowl. Because remember he had that great year in Philly.
21 Super Bowls. Is that?
It must have been Flacco? No, I don't know.
Dilfer. I'm gonna say Dilfer.
Dilfer might have went to a Pro Bowl.
Who's who?
Tampa.
Brad Johnson went to Pro Bowl. I know that. So it's not Johnson.
He went to a Pro Bowl. Dilfer went to a freaking Pro Bowl. I swear. I swear.
Nick Foles?
No, Flacco. Hold on. Let me see. I think it was Flacco.
No, I think Flacco went to a Pro Bowl.
No, it wasn't. He didn't. Thank goodness.
No?
He never went. It was Flacco. Yeah. Pretty sure it's Flacco. All right. Boom. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Grant, if we had a better quarterback, we wouldn't have got stopped on 4th down. That led to Packers 3-and-out. That got us a special teams TD. Duh. Thank you, Jimmy G. That's a good point. That is 40 chess. That's chess, not checkers. It's true. Better quarterback wouldn't have allowed the special teams to win the game, which is how the Niners won. Just curious, do you think Jay Hurd watches Debo and thinks that was supposed to be me? That was how I thought Shady was planning to use him, but Debo is on a way higher level and more durable. I don't get the vibe from Jalen Hurd that he watches Niner games.
No, I do. And I think, didn't Kyle talk about how his plan was to use Hurd? I believe he was going to use him as like an H-back / tight end wide receiver. He said more of that than the Debo role. I think the Debo role kind of just evolved into its own thing. He does it all. I don't think it was Hurd. His plan for the role.
Yeah. Right now, and feeling this probably would be more like 2 or 3 years before Trey is better than Jimmy. Realistically, Trey's 15 games since high school, very evident to people on the team, supposedly. Yeah, I'm telling you, players are bad judges of other players. I'm just telling you, especially other positions and stuff. From what I heard, the players thought Trey was going to really struggle against Houston, and he didn't. So I just like Trey to get his chance and these like, veterans in the locker room to just play their position and do their job and stop pushing back against this number 3 pick so that this, Fitz tragic impersonator can go out there and throw all these picks without any of the reward. Like, get your friends with Jim. I understand that Jimmy's a nice guy and he's always there and he doesn't steal the spotlight and he's a genuinely nice dude. Who cares? Stop. Right. Play your position, do your job, let Trey Lance. You don't need to get in his way. You were wrong about Trey Lance against Houston. Man, that's what I heard. If Lance started, would we discover Debo as a running back? I think if Lance started, Debo could actually play wide receiver sometime. He'd be allowed to.
Yeah.
What if Jimmy has week 10 stats, 180 yards, 2 TDs, 0 INTs?
49ers win.
49ers win. That is the answer to that question. Sign Brady for a year or 2. Let Lance learn. Trade Jimmy for a first or a second rounder. Maybe get Rodgers if available. I think the key with Lance is to sit him until he's 30.
Yeah.
30, I think that's the right time. You want, because sometimes, like 12, you want to keep whiskey in the barrel for 12 years usually. 33, I think would be perfect. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, let them really marinate and learn in practice. Really get those couple practice reps. Maybe get them some special teams plays here and there. Get them used to the game.
But you want to just bypass his 20s. You don't want to use any of his 20s. You want to get him right in his mid-30s when he's at his peak mentally. And you just want to pass his physical peak because that doesn't matter.
Right. You want him to – because you don't want him running the football. So you want
– that's bad. Yeah.
You want to take that physical –
just sit him on the bench for 10 years until he's way slower.
Right.
Smart.
So, like, hey, you're not going to run because you're not going to be able to.
Can't put my guy out there like that and don't want people to misunderstand. Locker room doesn't dislike Trey. They just don't think there's a debate right now. Yeah, and I think they're wrong. Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing all these interceptions, and the team's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. You only beat Green Bay because God evened it out. And that was very unfair to Green Bay, but maybe Green Bay has their own thing that they have. I don't really follow Green. Maybe they deserved it. Maybe it seemed like they probably deserved it from what was going on. But I'm just saying, like, when they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it's going to feel really bitter. And I think a lot of these guys might have to reconsider how they felt. But if they do win the Super Bowl, great. I'm not writing them off. Yeah. They could definitely win it. I mean, they should probably win this upcoming game. Jimmy has yet to throw. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that's how we feel about Jimmy. Well, we don't dislike him. We just dislike all the turnovers. Great.
Yeah. And the fact that he never improves, and the fact that his turnovers are bad decisions, and that his football IQ is shockingly low for someone who's in his 30s. I'm sorry. Jimmy has yet to throw more TDs and interceptions since week 15. Eventually he wins. We'll catch up to. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You've done it 3 times. Okay. All right. You got 2 more. Keep going, man. You're hurt. You're in the playoffs. This isn't your time. Look, we have a lot more donations. They're coming in fast. I'll get back to them, but we have more topics that we want to get. Do the 49ers have a psychological edge over the Rams? Like, as a coach, is that something that exists where one team just kind of piles on another opponent year after year and you feel like, man, we could play you here, there, in a parking lot, in a ballroom? It really freaking wouldn't matter. We got you.
Yeah, I think it does play a role. It coming into it, I think it plays a role for the I think it plays a role for the 49ers, gives them confidence coming in. I think it can play a role for the Rams in practice, giving them extra focus. But then in the game, when something bad happens, it can play a role where the Rams can feel, oh, well, here we go again. We're about to blow it to the Niners, especially coming off how they blew it the last time, where they had that game. They had it. Like everything was going in their way, and they totally gave it back to the Niners. So I think there can be there's a big psychological edge, and to me, most of it's going to happen in the game when bad things happen to the Rams. And if the Rams do get ahead, there's always going to be this thing back in the back of their head that the Niners can come back and win this game. For the 49ers. And for the 49ers coaching staff, they just have to be aware and not let that turn into like overconfidence where you just think you're going to walk on the field and win the football game. That's where it can be detrimental. However, it can give you confidence in key moments and a positive psychological edge where you never feel like you're out of the game. Like the players are always going to have the attention of the coaching staff because they know that no matter what it is, what time of the game, you got a shot.
I think the Niners and Rams are really similar in the sense that the source of confidence on both teams comes from a player. Like, I think the Rams feel that Aaron Donald is unstoppable, and that's gives them all confidence. I think the Niners feel that way about Nick Bosa. This guy is unstoppable, and that's going to give us a puncher's chance every week. Also, I think the team's faith and confidence in the head coaches is real.
Absolutely.
I think the Rams really believe in McVay, and the Niners really believe in Kyle in the sense that, like, even if the Niners offense is struggling that week, they all feel that Kyle figured out on the final drive. It'll come together. He'll be able to put one drive together. And the thing that's crazy about the Rams is that Aaron Donald never plays well against Niners. And Sean McVay seems like he cracks against Kyle, who is his kind of bigger, older brother, his former mentor. So I just feel like the Rams, all the other people looking at that and like, well, Aaron Donald's not going to be a factor. And Sean McVay's probably having a nervous breakdown. So where do we stand? You know what I mean? I think it's a real psychological edge here. Yes.
And to top it all off, the 49ers turned SoFi into a home stadium. Like, that's
a huge thing. It's a home game for literally a home game for the 49ers. It's embarrassing for the Rams to step on that field. It's embarrassing.
Sean McVay talked about it himself, like that they kind of were in shock at first when their stadium was reacting positively to the 49ers. Why you
should have stayed in St. Louis. I'm sorry. I lived in LA for 4 years. They don't really care about football. Only people who care about football in LA are people who went to USC or people who are from out of town and still are fans of the Bears or the Jets or wherever they're from. That's how LA works. That's how it works. I'm saying. Sorry.
So
Crockett should have known.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they know, but it didn't matter.
Yep.
I don't think it mattered. That's where the owner was going to get his stadium, so that's where he took it. The other thing I do want to say, I think the Niners do believe in Bosa, but I think like other guy that they're starting to kind of to get that feeling is Debo. Like what?
Agreed.
It's more than
running. It's more.
Yeah.
I was trying to make one parallel between the teams, but yes.
I can't even think of a running back in the National Football League that I would give the ball to on 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 11.
No,
and trust him to get the first down. And
you would do that in high school, right? If you had a really good running back, but not.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. No.
Oh, are you kidding? And they've done it. They did it last week too. Remember? Last week it was
against Dallas. 3rd and
they came up an inch short, and then Jimmy couldn't. Darnay says it was Doug Williams. I thought you meant the last 21 years. I think you meant the last 21 quarterbacks. Okay, good call. Okay. That's a long time ago. That was before I was cognizant of the world. All of this Lance hate is getting ridiculous. I hate going here, but is the color of his skin the real problem for some of these haters? I think it's not like people come on here and they're like, I don't want a black quarterback. Let me just say a bunch of things that mask my outward racism. I think people just have biases and don't even realize it. And they just look at him and they're like, I'm skeptical. Doesn't look like the quarterback I know. And you're sort of like looking for faults as opposed to Jimmy. It's like, man, that definitely looks like the quarterback I was expecting. And you just sort of kind of look for his positives. I think it's sort of way subconscious like that a lot of times.
Yeah, I think that's
important is to examine that yourself. Like, why do I feel this way about this kid?
Yeah,
that's a question for yourself.
I think it can play a role with some people. I definitely do, and we talked about it before. People place this notion of how Lance is expected to play the black quarterback way, but he really kind of doesn't play that way. That's why I equate a lot of my comp to him was always Andrew Luck, because I felt that Trey processed things on a cerebral level really well, and his athleticism was closer to Luck's than other people. So I do think it plays part of a role. I think that maybe if this was like, let's say the Niners would had Zach Wilson on the bench, I think there would still be all this like Jimmy G love, and I don't think that would have gone away. There might be less of it, but I think it's part, but not entirely.
Kareem says Trey Lance will have to get to the NFC Championship 2 out of 3 years. No excuses. Oh, see, I'm telling now a lot of Niner fans are going to feel this way. And I think this is what the problem was. Vish brought this up yesterday with Carson Wentz in Philly. The fact that Nick Foles won that Super Bowl and the Eagles had never won a Super Bowl before, it just set up Wentz like, okay, well, now you have to like win it again and win it more convincingly and be better. And it's impossible. So I really do feel bad for Trey Lance. He got drafted into by far the worst situation. Best team, but worst locker room situation. Like the locker room doesn't want him here. The locker room wants to stick with the arsonist for whatever reason because they're all buddies and stuff. It's like a buddy flick. It's a PG-13 buddy flick, and they really like each other, and they want to be friends and whatever. That's cool. So, and they, you know what? They're good at overcoming his whatever. So so I feel bad for Trey. Man, they don't even want you here, man. Kyle does. No one else does. It's rough.
Hey,
I think Ayuk likes him.
The Forrest Buckner that join up.
Any chance the Niners look to upgrade right guard or right tackle? Not if they win the Super Bowl or come close, and they'll just run it back.
Wait. But let's is running. But would running it back be like getting rid of McGlinchey and going Tom Compton?
They can't get rid of McGlinchey. They picked up his 5th-year option. They blew that. But they should. But they can't. But they should. But they can't.
I think they can. I think if they trade him though, they can dump the salary because the other team would be.
Because hella teams are dying to trade for Mike McGlinchey and his 5th-year option. I would.
Dude. We talked about this. Give me a 7th round pick in 2035.
I like that. Just take the contract. I'll give you a pick to take the contract. At this point in the season, there's no point talking about Trey. Focus on this game and this opponent. Each win boosts Jimmy's trade value. No, I don't work for the team. I don't play for the team. So I don't do that. Sorry. If you're looking for that kind of coverage, use always like Niner fan coverage that are trying to help the team win. And that's not what I do. And I think that's kind of why people watch me, because I think people are a little like OD'd on fan coverage. Nothing against fan coverage. I'm just saying, like, I think Niner fans want like national style coverage of their team. And when you do go online to find Niner coverage, it's always like, man, I really hope the Niners win this week, and this is why they're going to win by 40. It's like, okay, right. But can I get someone who's actually questioning the team and trying to – because that's more interesting, I think, in my opinion. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like –
I'm not trying to give away my secret.
I think you're respected because that you keep it real, you know?
I try
and that's – hold on. I'm going to get this door. I'm going to get this door on the show.
All right, I'm going to answer some questions over here.
All right, answer the question.
No, go ahead. Get the door. I'm going to answer your questions. Questions. Did you just say shut up and dribble, essentially? LOL, just messing with you. No, I mean, that's different. That's saying athletes shouldn't say things about social things, shouldn't use their platform to do right socially. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm saying athletes shouldn't privately campaign against a quarterback because they think he's not ready. Like, you're not qualified to say that privately. I'm just saying, you're not. Like, you're more qualified to talk about your position. Did you think Dak, Brady, Allen, Rodgers will all be watching Jimmy G this weekend? I mean, they are all the best and are home even an MVP, all losers. Hold on. Josh Allen is not a loser. He was the best quarterback in the playoffs. He has 149 rating. He lost because his defense couldn't stop anyone. It's not his fault. But yeah, I mean, happens.
Yeah, Allen didn't lose because of his play. You can look at Dak and Aaron Rodgers and look at moments where they could have played better. However, you can't look at that Josh Allen. Like, what else do you want Josh Allen to do? Like, win the coin toss? I mean, I don't.
Okay, so let's go right there for CT Law. This is a question I had. Do the Niners need better quarterback play to win the Super Bowl? There's so much joy and optimism among Niner fans right now. I think the prevailing sentiment is quarterback play no longer matters. Quarterback stats, interceptions, doesn't matter. All that matters is that Jimmy Garoppolo makes the rest of the team feel confident and that he is giving the secret pixie magic dust to the rest of the team, and that whatever he does statistically doesn't matter. They just need him to keep giving that aura on the sidelines in the huddle. I just want to point out real quick that here are the four. So my question is, if the Niners need better quarterback play, and to win the Super Bowl, before you answer it, I just want to give you the stats. Okay, the four remaining quarterbacks. You got Patrick Mahomes, who's in the playoffs, 2 games, 63 of 83 for 782 yards, 2 games, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 131.7 quarterback rating. It's Mahomes. We expect it. Matthew Stafford, 41 of 55 for 568 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, a 131.5 rating. The Rams are in the NFC Championship game. He's playing well. Joe Burrow, 52 of 71, 592 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, a 101.4 rating. Pretty good. Not great. Pretty good, though. And then you got Jimmy Garoppolo, 27 of 44, 303 yards in 2 games, no touchdowns, 2 picks, a 63 rating. He's way, way off the other 3 quarterbacks. My thought is that at some point, this level of quarterback play is going to bite the Niners, and they're not going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've talked about this before over again. Like, I love people that are like, well, the Ravens won Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer, and they won. Yeah, that was one Super Bowl. It's if you look at every other Super Bowl, it's been great quarterback play has been there. And
real quick, Dilfer's passer rating in during the playoffs that year in 2000 when they won the Super Bowl.
Good.
83.7. 63 is not good enough. And I'm sure someone can find an example of a team winning a Super Bowl with a quarterback rating like that, but it was probably in the 70s. I mean, this is crazy to me, and I don't think it's sustainable. Maybe he can improve his play, but he hasn't. He's played exactly the same way since Tennessee, every single game, in my opinion. I don't see it. He's hurt. His thumb is messed up, and he'll let you know it. So I don't see him all of a sudden going crazy. I don't think this is good enough, man. And I'm upset. And I wish Niner fans cared more, but I understand. You won 2 playoff games, and it's like, you know what? I don't want to be analytical anymore. I'm on the ride. And if they lose, then I'll catch up with your analysis then. Fine. I just want to be consistent and get out in front of this because I'm not a fan, and I'm not celebrating the dude with the 63 rating. No, absolutely not. I thought about it. No. So, yeah.
If the Niners won the Super Bowl this year, it'll be the first time NFL history, probably since like 1935, that a team has won Super Bowl without a quarterback.
Can you win a Super Bowl with a quarterback scoring no touchdowns in the playoffs? Can you do that? I guess. But again, Trey's not ready, though. Jimmy out here throwing no touchdowns and an interception in the game, but you should understand why I don't really trust the opinions of the people in that locker room. I don't know what's going on in Santa Clara, but it's like, okay, but what about Jimmy, though? That's my question for the whole organization. What about Jimmy, though? 63? Nah, that's not going to get it done, especially when Burrow, Stafford, and Mahomes are all playing so well. The other guys have combined for 2 picks. Jimmy has 2 on his own. I don't know, man. We'll see how much God wants the Niners to win the Super Bowl. I guess it's going to come down to that. God has money on it. You never know. God might be in debt to the other God. There could be – we don't even know how that works if you think about it. We don't even know what happens after you die. Sorry, that's a discussion.
Maybe Hightower's in his rhythm now. Now Hightower's in his rhythm now. Just maybe Travis Benjamin returns a kick this next game for a touchdown.
Possible. Jimmy sat for 3 years behind Tom Brady to have 2 TDs and 5 INTs in his 5 playoff games. He learned that from Tom Brady. He learned that from Tom. That's how we got so good. Sorry. Ryan says, have to counter my man D'Angelo. I'm friends with a long-term employee of the team, and they say Jimmy G for what he is. He will not be back next year. Thank you, Ryan.
Boom.
In your face.
Yeah, in your face.
No, he's cool. I appreciate D'Angelo giving you that. No, D'Angelo, thank you for giving the information. I do find it interesting. Yeah, and cool. I don't dispute. I believe it. I do think a lot of players in that team think they're experts and think they know. But I know better. I'm quality control. It's why I have the job and you don't. Just saying. Kind of nervous because the Rams are due. A win this week in this situation will wash away all the negative vibes from their losing streak. Okay, let's talk about that. Beating the Rams 3 times in one season. Everyone says it's hard. And it seems like this is almost coming from Santa Clara. Like people are saying, hey, everyone's picking us to win. And I know we've beaten them a lot, but it is very difficult to win 3 times over one team in the same season. Now, the Niners have beaten the Rams 6 times in a row, but those were different teams. 4 of those were against Goff. This is Stafford. Stafford now gets his 3rd chance, and it's like thinking maybe, if he's worth anything, if this Rams team is worth anything, they can make an adjustment and win. I mean, they came close last time, right? They had a 99.6% chance of winning at one point. They had a 17-point lead. They let it all go away. So is it really – what is the deal as a coach? What is the deal about playing a team a 3rd time in a few months? Why is that hard?
I always think it's hard. As a coach, I always think it's hard because if you win, I think most of the time you think, okay, well, we can just walk in. Let's walk into the game with basically the same game plan because why that worked. Like it's worked. Why we've won. We've won the last couple times, so we don't have to change much. The other team is thinking, okay, well, we have to make some changes because we lost, so we need to make changes. So there's the other team kind of knows what they're gonna get, right? So because the team that won isn't gonna change too much and can make some adjustments. So I think it from that perspective. Now,
I was thinking from the opposite perspective, honestly. But yours is very interesting. But I'm thinking from the perspective of, man, we've beaten them twice in a row. They know what we do well. We know they're going to make changes because they've struggled. They've lost twice in a row. We got to change something. We got to change something because they know what we're going to do. And they're going to change to make an adjustment. And they're going to have an answer for it. So we got to have something new too. And now all of a sudden you've taken yourself out of your rhythm and you've gotten away from the basics that work against this team. And that is one way that I think the Niners could overthink it, where it could be a detriment to the Niners. Like, we got to do something that different than what has been working. No, you have to do what's been working because you're physical. They're not. You're tough. They're soft. Keep making if you make the game physical, they fold. So don't do anything other than that. And that's why they know how to beat the Rams. I don't think they're going to deviate from it.
I don't think they should. They shouldn't deviate too much from what now. Should they don't run the same? You have to throw in some wrinkles, right? You do. You should be throwing in some wrinkles. However, but you don't want to turn into don't start going out 5 wide. Be who you are, and frankly, that's how they've been winning in the playoffs. They've been who they are, and they've managed to make some crazy play, some unbelievable
when people keep coming back to how they won in Green Bay, I'm like, yeah, of course, they played great defense and they had this and that, and God helped, and it was all. Can we be a little humble about what happened in Green Bay? I mean, I've never seen them play. That was as fluky as the Music City Miracle to me, and this team could go out just like that, where they lose at the 1-yard line of the Super Bowl. Man, they have a very, very I feel like this season's coming down to the last play, last drive, last inch. There's something very, very Hollywood dramatic about this team, and I don't get it. But that's how it kind of give me like a 1999 Titans vibe. I don't know why. They're on borrowed time already. It shouldn't even be here. Way on borrowed time already. But it's at the same time, they look like the team that has the most. I don't know. If God is rooting for the Niners, then why would you bet against them? That's the main thing I would have to ask if I were a bettor right now. Why would I bet against God? That seems like a mistake. Psychological edge stemming from an actual stylistic scheme edge, or is it just we keep beating them edge? All of it.
Yeah, it all plays a role.
Rams aren't built to stop the run. Niners are built to run. Rams are. How did they lose their run game? No, they let Saffold go to Tennessee. That was a mistake.
There you go. I think it's a cumulative effect. Like their philosophy is to get top tier players, put money into those top tier players, and use their top draft picks to get top tier players. Like the whole thing with the draft is it gives you cheap talent. Like you can get right now, Nick Bosa is one of the top edge players in the NFL, top sack artist in the NFL, and they're basically paying him peanuts. Why? Because they use a first round pick on him, and that's the same thing with any first round pick. Like if when Lance does play, if they play him before he's 33, he'll be on a cheap contract. And if you can get starter production, positive production from a position and pay them rookie salary, it's a huge advantage. And the Rams have kind of eschewed that whole advantage and we're just going to pay this guy. And what happens when you pay one guy is you can't pay other positions, and you end up with an offensive line that's got a 40-year-old and
freaking awful. The locker room is the reason Jimmy is on the team. I think that's probably true. I think it's not Kyle's not the reason. It ain't Kyle. But Jimmy, and also Jimmy's the reason Jimmy's on the team. Jimmy owns that locker room. Jimmy is much more political than Kyle. Jimmy's like John Lynch. Jimmy won over those players. Kyle is just thinking about the next play, and they trust him, and he's great at what he does, but he's not socially savvy like Jimmy. And I don't think he understood what the hold Jimmy had on that line. I don't think he understood. I don't think Kyle gets social dynamics like that. I think and maybe it's why he's such a good, he's so good with X's and O's. He's just in that world. He's so far in that world. It's like, in Spider-Man, Ant-Man, when you go subatomic and you just go, and he's like so far. He's subatomic. Dude. Kyle is so subatomic, and sometimes it's hard to reach him, I think. I think we're looking at this team wrong. We are an elite defensive team with a comp offense instead of an complementary offense instead of an underachieving offense team with great defense. All right, same thing. A complementary offense doesn't turn the ball over. Everything else is great. If you have a great defense, your job on offense is not to turn the ball over. The Niners are a big play offense that turns the ball over. Like, they're really not complementary at all.
Right. It would be a running game that can move the sticks and then not turn the ball over. That's the missing component. Right.
If Trey doesn't take, it's not like if they had Brett Favre, I wouldn't complain about the picks. Right? It's fine. That's okay. Yes. That's what I want to say. I pointed out that Jimmy has 52 turnovers and 52 starts, and people were like, well, look at Brett Favre's career. Don't you freaking dare. Don't you dare. I think Brett Favre had like 5 or 6 times the amount of touchdowns that Jimmy Garoppolo had. If you're that kind of quarterback, fine. You can win with offense. It doesn't matter. But Jimmy is not giving you those plays. So, yeah, the interceptions matter. He's supposed to be a game manager, but he's not.
Right.
If Trey doesn't take the team to an NFC Championship while the team is stacked, will people say it was a mistake? Yes. And I don't envy Trey. It's a lot of pressure, but I don't know. I guess he's ready for it. Better be ready for it. The reason we say start Trey is because we've literally seen him play and seen potential, but if he hadn't played at all, then we'd be more skeptical. Fair. He has played, though.
Yeah, he has. I mean, there's a reason that he was drafted number three overall. You just listed the 4 quarterbacks that are in this playoffs. The only one that's not a first round pick is Jimmy Garoppolo, and the other two guys are Stafford was on number 1 overall, and so is Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes was 12 or 10.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So
first pick, 12th pick, 3rd pick on the bench, Jimmy in late 2. Look, I'm just saying he's lucky that he hasn't, he's got these injuries right now. He's lucky he hasn't missed a snap or two, because if Trey Lance just gets an opening and can make one play, maybe this skeptical locker room would look at him and be like, all right, well, maybe we have nothing to be afraid of. Because right now it just seems like they're afraid of the dark. Like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, okay, like, what's going to happen with Jimmy. You're going to get pretty far because of everyone else, and then he's going to blow it, and then you're going to be like, oh, we thought he had it this time. Or I'm wrong. Kroenke moved the Rams from St. Louis because local establishments wanted to boycott them after their support of hands up, don't shoot movement. Wow. Didn't know that. Well, you could have picked any city other than St. Louis. I mean, other than LA. It's not a football town. And now you're having, ask the Raiders about this problem that they're having right now. The Raiders had this in the 80s. And putting a big, huge place like that in Inglewood, like, I'm sorry. The glamorous people of LA aren't going to go to Inglewood even just because you put a nice place. Sorry. There's no public transportation. It's not easy to get there. It's hard to get in. It's hard to get out. People get in late. People leave early. It's just a mistake.
Do you have a plan for this week? Because I know last time you had a problem getting out, right?
I have a plan. There's apparently a designated lift drop-off and pickup area where I can get it. They're not going to pick you up anywhere else, so I went the wrong way. So I'm going to go to the right spot this time. Give Jimmy Mid a cape so he can be super mid. And all of his fans can be Captain Save Jimmy's, man. God, so many people out there being like, he's not as bad as people say. Okay. All right. Great. Sweet. Did they pay you to say that? Don't get too big-headed, bro. Talk good about the Niners. I know. I need to be careful, man, because they just might win the Super Bowl. It's crazy. Even with dude in his 63 passer rating, who's better matchup if we make the Super Bowl? You don't want to face Kansas City. You know that.
Yeah.
You just beat the Bengals. You haven't beaten Kansas City.
Right.
Here's a theory. Lance is too good. Kyle wants to challenge winning with the narcissist. I think that's probably it.
Yeah,
he's just too good. This just wouldn't be interesting. We only watch Niners coverage, not your wittiness.
The thing is, it's like what you said. Kyle wants to be the star. If Lance is out there, he's not the star. Like Kyle wants to be able to create these crazy plays like I did it, right? So if Lance is out there and he's making these phenomenal plays like Patrick Mahomes, you don't get to create Debo runs on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 10. You know,
we only watched for Niners coverage, not your wittiness. I appreciate that. That's what people used to say when I worked at the Press Democrat. I had like this blog that had hella views and comments. People were like, well, we're just here for the comment section. We don't actually like you. We're just here for each other. And now I'm over here and I have, like 50 million views on YouTube, and people are like, well, we don't really like you though. We just watch you for what you say. Okay, fine, whatever. You don't have to like it.
It doesn't matter why you watch.
You don't have to like it.
As long as you watch it, it doesn't matter.
It's true. Like, we're not friends. Jimmy G stats up until his this point in the playoffs, probably the worst quarterback stats heading to championship game. Dilfer stats at this point were 2 TDs, 0 intercept. It's just, again, they wouldn't be here without the special teams miracle. They're on borrowed time, and that's a big reason why the Niners are not favored to win. I mean, anyone who's not a Niner fan looks at Jimmy and is like, yeah, it's hard to really count on that. Swan song.
Yeah.
Swan song. What are your realistic expectations for trading the team over the next 5 years? How far would they have to get for the trade to be worth it? I think they can win a Super Bowl. I don't think the Niners can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy and his 63 playoff passer rating. I think they can with Trey. I think they have the team, and I think he has the talent. So that's my expectation.
Yeah. I actually tweeted about this morning. If you look at now, like what even from the point perspective about how you weigh the draft capital and points, the Niners this year, their first round pick is going to be 20. It's going to be 29 or later. So that's like 600 and something points. The first round pick was worth 1,200. So like if they make a deep run next year, like Miami is probably going to get an undervalue on their undervalue return. So as long as Trey just has to be, it'd be ideal if he's phenomenal like Patrick Mahomes. But if he's just an average quarterback, then the trade, it's probably worth it because you're paying him what, a third of what you're paying Jimmy G, or a fourth. And if he's playing equal or better, you can use that as Jimmy G. You can use that money and spend elsewhere and have a better team and not turn them over.
Who's the better comparison for Trey, Wentz or Allen? I think Trey is a way better runner than Wentz. I don't think Wentz is that good. Wentz has had a bunch of injuries though, which is kind of and he's a weirdo. But no, way better runner than Wentz. I think he's a better runner than Allen. I don't know that he'll ever be as good as Allen, but yeah, I think that's the upside. Allen with more running ability.
I think Trey is also he plays safer in football than most do.
That is true. Do you really think Jimmy Garoppolo's saga ends this week? As your father would say, think like an English major. Everyone telling me how to do my job. I've been doing pretty good so far. I don't think the Jimmy Garoppolo saga ends this week. I don't think they'll trade him until, I don't know. When will that trade happen? Draft night?
No, I think it happened before. You don't think so? I think it happened before.
They're going to hold out to get the most value possible. And I don't know if a team that wants him would make that trade before they see where I don't know. I'm thinking it happens draft night because the Niners need to create cap space so they can extend Bosa and Debo, but those extensions will happen in August. So,
yeah, I don't know. I would try to say before. I mean, if you're especially thinking that Kyle's the one that wants to play Lance, like I just want to get away from Jimmy as soon as possible and just move on and not have this problem in my locker room.
Okay. Do rookies receive pay bonuses for starting a playoff game? Maybe it's a money thing. Why we refuse to play the kid?
I think every player gets a bonus for winning a playoff game if you're on the roster. I don't know that it matters if you're starting or not, but maybe.
Yo, hold on. We got some breaking news over here. Yo, Sean Payton just stepped down. Ian Rappaport, sources, Sean Payton has informed the Saints that he's stepping away. I thought it was going to work out between him and Taysom Hill. What? You're just going to walk away from Taysom like that? I thought that was your Steve Young. Man, I'm disappointed. I thought that was all going to happen. So does that mean he's going to like take a year to like be with his family and something, and then in a year he'll like go to some team?
Isn't his movie coming out where what's his name, Kevin?
Is a movie coming out? They talk about the time when he tried to put bounties on players. They talk about that.
Well, yes, he got suspended, and then he went and he coached like he coaches like son's like Pop Warner team.
That's the story.
Yes, it's who's the guy Kevin that played King of Queens.
Oh my God, it's that guy.
Yeah, he plays. He's
Is it like a story of redemption?
Yeah, something like he's and he goes and he's the coach.
I don't want to watch that movie. Real quick, where do you think what damn Sean Payton? So what's gonna happen? He's gonna come to the Niners, huh? Not Kyle Shanahan's gonna lose this game and get traded. No, I don't know what's gonna happen to Sean Payton. Cowboys.
He's gonna hang out for a little. He's gonna hang out for a little while, a year, and then he's gonna
go to Cowboys. Dallas.
I don't know because
get fired, McCarthy.
Here's the thing with Peyton though, and Dallas is that Peyton, when he wants to coach, is going to be a huge name. Like he's basically he'll probably have his pick of the litter.
Yeah, he can go wherever he wants. If he wants to go to Green Bay, LaFleur, they'll have to be like, you know what, LaFleur, thanks.
Correct.
But you and your special teams can take a hike. Thank you.
Right, and the problem with Dallas and with those premium coaches is they don't want to have to deal with Jerry. Jerry wants to be the star, and they don't want to deal with that. Like when you're Harbaugh and you're all these, you have your choice of where you want to go.
If I were the Chargers, I would fire Brandon Staley in a heartbeat. I don't care. Yeah. Sean, do you want to coach for us? Brandon, thank you. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. You've been so impressive. We have Sean Payton now. Any team that has a defensive coach, like the Jets, sorry, Robert, but they should be like, hey, Sean, are you a fan of Zach? Did you like Zach Wilson? Did you like him? I'm just saying. That's how the NFL works. Sorry.
I think where it matters is as far as the 49ers are concerned is it's another head coach opening that'll be open, and it increases the likelihood that D'Amico Ryans might get a job and leave.
Peyton paid Taysom and quit. LOL. Yeah, that's the final gift to New Orleans. We as fans are just happy to be playing with the house money at this point. At 2-4, none of us expected to be here. That is true. This whole run has been quite fun, and I'm someone who covers the team, I'm glad to, because it's never fun when the team is out of it in like November. It's not fun.
No,
everyone's kind of just waiting for the draft, and the Niners don't have a first round pick. It would have been bleak.
Right.
I don't trust Jimmy G. Damn. Me neither.
I'm right there with Kyle doesn't trust Jimmy G. Third and 10, 3rd and 7, game on the line, handoff.
How can you trust someone whose motto in life is YOLO? That's how he lives his life as a quarterback. I think if a play breaks down and Jimmy starts scrambling, all the eligible receivers should immediately lie down. I like that. I like that very much. However, Jimmy's last drive, Rodgers' last drive. It's true. That's true. I thought Rodgers was awful in this game. I thought Rodgers played awful in this game. So I don't know if that made that Jimmy played good, because Jimmy was worse in this game. Both guys were awful as hell in this game. Peyton Manning, first Super Bowl run, 3 TDs, 7 interceptions in 4 games. Not comparing Jimmy to Peyton at all. I know it was a different time, but here we are. No, you are comparing him to Peyton.
Yeah, you literally
just did. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna compare him to Peyton, but okay. Maybe
Peyton Manning also made great. He made some great plays, and that's what Grant just brought it up a little while ago. Is that you get the picks, but you don't get the great plays. So yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Maybe everyone is pumping up Jimmy G stock just to convince other teams to trade something valuable for him. I think everyone's just doing the Niners a solid at this point. Media, fans.
Peter King. Shout out to Peter King.
After that defensive performance in Green Bay, I have no reason to doubt them, but I am not sure how well they will contain Patrick. Here's the thing. As great as the Niners defense is playing, it's all contingent on them forcing multiple turnovers a game. They can play great defense and lose because of Jimmy. So this week, it wasn't enough to strip Mercedes Lewis. It had special teams had to do it too. It's all about the turnovers right now. They're 4-1 when they don't. They're 1-4 when they don't force a turnover. That's a tough margin for error right there. And it's crazy they keep forcing them.
Right. First of all,
they come in like
they should be worried about Matthew Stafford, not Patrick Mahomes at this point. However, I will talk about remember how this went last year. The Niners when the last time they played Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, they forced turnovers, right? He had 2 picks?
Mm-hmm. And he fumbled twice, but the Niners didn't recover.
2
there were
picks.
Opportunities. Yeah.
He had a bad game. Overall, forget the play at the end and all that. They played him very well. He had a bad game against them, and they still lost. Why? Because they couldn't get things done offensively. They couldn't. Their quarterback blew it. Their quarterback blew it. They played great against Mahomes. So
4 times a visiting team in the playoffs have swept the home team 2-2 in such instances, basically a coin toss and non-factor. Interesting. Didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
Mike T says, if Jimmy wins a Super Bowl with a torn ligament, the road schedule they've had since the Rams and all the hate from the fans and people proved wrong, it would be one of the greatest stories ever. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, then you can say the same thing about Tom Compton. If
Right.
Tom Compton wins the Super Bowl with all these games on the road and he didn't even start, one of the greatest stories ever. Let's make a movie about Tom Compton winning the Super Bowl. Here? Mitch Wishnowsky. The story of Mitch Wishnowsky. I mean, the Niners, he honestly led the 49ers to the Super Bowl with his amazing punting. Anyone on the team has as much acclaim to this Super Bowl as Jimmy Garoppolo. If you want to make the Jimmy Garoppolo story, you got to make the Mitch Wish. You got to make the Tabor Pepper story because Tabor Pepper holding was just, it was perfect. The whole season. It's great. It's way better than
the Elijah Mitchell story.
The Elijah Mitchell story. The Laken Tomlinson story. The Alex Mack story. Alex Mack, his record on the, I mean, come on. Yeah, it's a great story, but like it's the team story. Jimmy Garoppolo. He led the 49ers by throwing no touchdown passes and a bunch of picks. But the way he did it, it was invaluable. I mean, they couldn't have done it without his awful play. It's like crediting the one dude in a baseball lineup who was 0 for 30 in the playoffs. Like he led him. So say he batted fourth, went 0 for 30, and that's why they won the World Series because of the way he struck out. You know, he really took the counts deep. You know, he really made the pitcher work when he was going 0 for 30, something like that. Not 0 for 30, batting 150.
My favorite thing is when he plays he plays terrible and the offense plays terrible for the entire game. The defense is balling out and everything, and then all of a sudden the defense gives up a drive and they're going, "Oh, defense is terrible. It's terrible. Look at Jimmy. He just led them down the field." Like, all right, one drive. Every other drive in the game has been terrible. And now in Green Bay, he made 2 throws, and everyone's like, "Well, he made those awesome 2 throws to help set up the game-winning field goal." What about every other time in the game? They wouldn't need the field goal if you just played well the rest of the game.
What kills me is that like the last 10 years have all been about analytics in the NFL, right? Like in the past, Pro Bowls and stuff were kind of dependent on quarterback rating and win-loss record. That was it. And the last 10 years, I mean, every fan will tell you wins aren't a quarterback stat. What's his PFF grade? What are his advanced stats? What's his completion percentage over expected? What's his EPA? And with Jimmy, we're reduced to, hey, man, he just wins. I don't know what to say. Like, really? That's where we're at? No, absolutely. We've come too far. This is 2022. Absolutely not. No. He just wins. Yeah, put him on another team and see if that happens. Sean Payton just left the Saints. Where will Jimmy go now or next year? I think Sean Payton's like, man, I got to get out of New Orleans because they don't have any cap space. I got to get somewhere where I can get Jimmy, man. Me and Jimmy. And Jimmy. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't know, Khalil, but you gave me $20. Let me try to give you a better answer. Where is Sean Payton going to go? Wherever the hell he wants, man.
I don't know if it'll be this. Can he even go anywhere this year?
He might have to take a year off, right?
Yeah, I think
he signed a contract.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to spend time with his family. Maybe he's going to be a family man. Because you always know how much coaches love spending time away from the facility. 98.7 QBR, not horrible. Please wear your Garoppolo jersey next show. You you have one. As I watch the show, you look like Jimmy. Grant loves Jimmy. 98.7 QBR is not horrible. If only that was his quarterback.
If
that was it, it'd be great. Burrow's in the playoffs is 101. That's nice. I think that's probably what it was in the regular season, but all I know is that in 5 playoff games, 2 seasons, his quarterback rating is 70. This year it's 63. So yeah, 98.7 would be great. If he could do that, do that.
Yeah, that'd be great if he could play like he did in the last couple of games, but he's not.
Because he's hurt. When have we exploded offensively? Very rarely. We've been better defensively way more times. Kyle's rep has fooled us into thinking we're a lead on. It's not. He gets credit as a head coach this year, rallying the team, having the defense. His offense is averaging 4.8 yards per play in the playoffs. That's beneath him.
Wait, so I do want to defend Kyle for a minute. I think his offense is limited by the quarterback. I think he understands that. That's why
but I mean, he chose to play this quarterback, so that's on him.
He did, right? Yeah. It's on him.
But it's definitely Jimmy. It's the Jimmy effect. You're seeing more than 2 years ago, teams are like, all right, well, we know what Jimmy is. We know Kyle doesn't have the confidence in it. We know we have to stop the run. I mean, everyone said the Packers had no run defense, right? The worst run defense. They did great against Debo and Elijah. And they gave up the 9-yard run on 3rd and 7, but no big runs. and they have a terrible run defense. So that's what's going to happen to this team is Jimmy's going to have to do something, and he's not doing it.
Right.
Well, he's doing something. He is doing something.
I don't know if you listened to the broadcast, but Troy Aikman was super excited about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Come on, Grant. They lost 4 in a row. Jimmy missed 2 games. Jimmy has no ligament. He has a ligament. It's broken. Trey has had tons of opportunities to take his job. He's had 0 opportunities to take his job. Literally no opportunities to take his job, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They never gave him a chance. There was no quarterback competition. They told him the plan. I mean, Kyle's very much like this. He's not the kind of guy who's like, I'll just, let things play out and then I'll make a decision. He's like, nah, I can already see how this is going to play out. We're going to go with Jimmy this year, Trey next year, boom. And nothing's going to change my mind. That's how he works.
Trey won a game and then almost beat the Cardinals when they were the best team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And when Jimmy played them and they had their backup quarterback, they got blown out.
That's true. Thank you. Niners fans watching that KC Buffalo game, like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. And that's why I'm, surprised the Niners locker room doesn't want that kind of talent on the field. Yo, Grant, just curious, what do I have to do to have a career like yours? Looks like a dream job getting to go to all the games and be around the team. I don't know. It's hard.
Start a YouTube channel and
but that won't get you a credential. To get a credential, you got to go like it's usually good to write for the college newspaper, and then that'll give you a connection to it. It's hard. Hopefully the NFL and teams and leagues start changing their credential policy because it's very old world, old guard right now. I don't know, man. Get a job with a news organization is hard though, because everyone wants a job and there's very few jobs. I don't know. Start grinding. Matthew says, matter of fact, last week was the lowest postseason QBR for a single game by any Niners quarterback ever. Scraping the bottom of the barrel is crazy. It's so crazy. His QBR was 11, man. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, and win the game. And win the game.
He won that game. Man. That whole game made me think of Pulp Fiction. You know what I mean? The whole divine intervention conversation is like, you're telling me God came down from heaven and blocked that plane. That's what I'm telling you. He came down from heaven and he blocked that. I was there. Jules, I was there. Sorry. Vincent. I just made me think of that scene so much. You telling me he stopped those bullets? Yes, I'm telling you he stopped those bullets. He stopped those bullets. Saints fans, oh no, we suck again. Who was the coach before Sean Payton on that team?
Was it Dick? It wasn't Dicko, right?
It might have been. Was it
Haslett? Was it Haslett?
It was probably Haslett. Yeah, I think it was Haslett. LA, we know the truth. We run LA. Yep, that's the truth. It's true. I believe Kyle has a long-term plan for Lance, but he doesn't want to lose the locker room in the process because chemistry seems to mean a lot for his game plan. As for Jimmy G, Kyle's been lost faith in him. Yeah, I think I agree with all that.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do also with Kyle's relationship with the players too. Like they call him Kyle, they don't call him right. So he has a certain relationship. He hangs out with them in the off season and all that stuff. So it's a different type of coach relationship. So when they say, hey, we want to play this guy, not that guy, he listens to him.
Did not like Vish finally conceding to the Jimmy G magic. Grant, please tell everyone to keep hating on him. Throw it on extra thick this week. Don't jinx it. I think Vish was kind of joking. He says that Jimmy Garoppolo has an undeniable amount of magic pixie dust. That is the key for this team. I think he was being tongue-in-cheek. Niners versus Bengals Super Bowl. Niners win by 6. Man, the Niners would probably get that break too, I would imagine. Although Burrow's probably improved since the last time the Niners played him. Jimmy is injured. I'm just saying, Jimmy isn't the same quarterback he was in Cincinnati. That was one of his better games, and he still threw the pick that would have lost the game. Aside from the thumb, with another week of healing for his shoulder, I believe Jimmy's play will have positive regression. 2 TDs, 280 yards seems right. They need it. I think they're going to need
it. If Jimmy has 280 yards and 2 TDs, they probably blow out the Rams.
Tom Compton does not have a torn ligament and constant hate from the fans. Not your best analogy. I think the hate only makes the locker room love for Jimmy stronger, though. Your minions got to keep it up. Oh, okay. So Jimmy's the only player on the team right now who's playing through an injury. Jimmy is the most courageous player on the team right now. It's not like Fred Warner has an ankle injury or Trent Williams has an ankle injury or Deebo Samuel limped off the field. But no, because Jimmy Garoppolo's agent put out there that his thumb hurts and his shoulder has a boo-boo, that we're all going to give him the Purple Heart Award for courage and bravery. I don't know, man. If the Niners, if Hollywood makes a Jimmy Garoppolo story because he's handsome, by all means, go spend your money on that. Please watch that. I won't, but you can. I didn't even see Moneyball though. I was like, man, I live that. I don't need to see Brad Pitt pretending to be freaking Billy Dean.
You know what Hightower should do is this week, if they need another block punt, they should put Jimmy on special teams because his magic will create another block.
Can Hightower tell freaking Wisnowski to do one of those knuckle punts again? I mean, where's that been? Don't you like the Niners? I thought you want the Niners to win, Mitch. Do another knuckle punt. People always cite the clutch drives rather than look at why the opportunity for clutch drive even exists at all. It's the D and Debo and special teams, apparently. Although not in Dallas. It was not special teams in Dallas.
We'll see this week.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah.
Kelly with the $2
one more, and then we'll go back to the show. Trey almost beat the Cardinals, huh? He had a worse QBR in that game than all of Jimmy's starts besides in the snow because of Little and Hurricane. He had a better QBR than Kyler Murray in that game. The reason the Niners lost in that game is because Kyle Shanahan went for it 5 times on 4th down. Had he just gone for the field goal and the Niners had made the field goals when they were in range, they would have won the game 19-17. So that loss was really on Kyle. Mike, my favorite thing is when Jimmy Garoppolo supporters get real upset and try to like argue with me, and they just keep sending me money. So now he's like $15 into me. Mike, you want to go for 20? You want to go for 20, Mike? I would love you to go for 20. Mike T. Oh no, hold on. Let's see what Milf Hunter.
Milf Hunter. Wait, yeah, I love Milf Hunter.
David Lombardi, Niners when Garoppolo starts 25-8 on the road, 14-5 as underdogs, best win percentage in NFL history. That is a crazy stat. LOL. It's the magic pixie dust. I think they're actually have like a crazy good record when he doesn't throw a touchdown percentage. When he doesn't throw a touchdown. So the key is for him to really be bad, have a negative impact, and that galvanizes the rest of the team. It's a galvanizing effect. That's what we're trying to say, right? He galvanizes the team to play better. Other teams that have elite quarterback kind of just chill. They're like, whoa, Patrick Mahomes is going to do everything. But if you have a bad quarterback, everyone else plays harder. I think that's really what we're learning here. It's important to have
it's like
your own high risk, low reward quarterback. It brings out the best in people. That's what brings out the best in people.
It's the whole featuring Jimmy Garoppolo. This fact. It's like you're about to have Loon come on, like, oh man, Loon's gonna trash this. So Craig Mack knows he's got to step his game up, right? Like,
bring back Biggie. Okay, two more topics. So nationally, people are thinking the Rams are going to win this game, but locally, everyone thinks the Niners are going to beat the Rams because the Niners own the Rams. The Niners know it. The Rams know it. We know it. But so I guess the only thing here from the coach's perspective is guarding against overconfidence. It's never hurt the Niners against the Rams, or at least not in the last 3 years. But do you think this is – I mean, we're not in the locker room. We don't know. We'll hear how they talk this week. But do you think this is something that's kind of human nature, kind of natural? How do you not get overconfident when you have this kind of ownage? And what do you do as a coach to prevent against it?
I think that they've it seems to me that they've managed this confidence fairly well because they've won with six times in a row, right? So,
exactly.
So Kyle knows how to manage it. He's managed it well. The team knows how to manage this. So I think you have to do what I said earlier is you have to know that you can beat the Rams and you have this ability to do it and you have them, but you don't do it just by stepping on the field. You can't just come into practice this week and just go through the steps. You have to practice like it's a real team. You have to respect the team enough to know that they're going to play, right? You them play on a certain level, but you can't get it done just by showing up. You have to put in the work too. And I think they do that. I think the team does understand that. They've since done it. They've done it 6 times in a row. So I think I wouldn't say that they're overconfident. They're confident, but they're able to use that confidence in a positive way. I think that's why I think this is going to be a game on Sunday. I would be very surprised if it was any sort of blowout by the Rams. But I wouldn't say overconfident, but confidence.
Look, if I were Kyle Shanahan, I would feel the same way as you, but at the same time, I wouldn't take it for granted that they're not overconfident. I don't know. And what I would say to them is, while we should be confident, while we know how to beat the Rams, we've proven we can do it. You got to remember that we probably should have lost to the Rams last time we faced them. We were down 17-0, and the Rams made major mistakes, blunders that led us back in. And of course, our talent and pedigree took over. You give us a second chance, we won't. We know what to do with it, but they had to do that. They had to give us that second chance. And if we fall down 17-0, there's no guarantee they'll do it again. So we have to play better. We have to do better than we did last week. We don't have some necessarily like secret magical sauce that's going to lead us to victory against the Rams. We actually have to do better because it seems like the Rams are improving with Matthew Stafford against the Niners. So,
yeah, when they played Stafford last time, he was turning the ball over, and now he's not. So I came into the game last time when they were playing.
He has raised his game in the playoffs, which is what good players do.
Right. Yeah. When they came into that game, and I came in with the expectation that Stafford was going to throw picks, and the Niners should have to take advantage of that, and not in turn turn the ball over. Now he's not turning the ball over, and I'm not sure how the 49ers are going to get him to throw picks, but they need to. And I think it's going to be ever more important to somehow figure out a way for Jimmy not to, because if Stafford's not turning the ball over, those turnovers by Jimmy are going to be ever more important.
Watch, Cam Akers will fumble 3 times. All right, last topic, and then we'll finish off. Seriously, last topic, and then we'll finish off the comments. Another thing here with the Niners, ownage over the Rams is the Aaron Donald factor. He is a ghost whenever he plays the Niners. At the end of the game, I'm thinking, like, was he there? Did he register a stat? He never. I mean, against anyone else, he is the best player in the league. Against the Bucks, wrecked the game. Anyone else, he wrecks the game. But against the Niners, man, he almost looks like a liability. And to me, it seems like it's real obvious. I'm curious to know what you see. But for me, it's as simple as he's an undersized defensive tackle whose game is based on quickness, which is great. And as the league has evolved, it makes someone like him the best player in football because it's a passing league. But if you combo block him, he's kind of small. And if you make him fight against those combo blocks all day, it's exhausting.
Right.
It just takes a little bit away from his pass rush. They do it every time.
Yeah. And he's just running the football. Like just running the football. You can run away from him too. You can run away from him. You can do all the
running at him. Don't let him chase because he's a good chase player. Same with Von Miller. Run right at that dude. Play football, man. You're not a track guy. You're a football player.
You can, like you just said, you can combo block him. Run his game. His game, like you said, he's undersized. His game really it's the pass game, right? He wants to rush the passer. So don't let him do it. Don't let him do it.
Don't let him do it. Run at him. Make him be a run defender all game. It's exhausting, and so that when you finally do get to 3rd and 7, his pass rush won't be as good. It won't be as good.
Right. And he has to respect the run. So he can't just start teeing off on the quarterback. He has to respect the run, play the run. I mean, imagine playing a team.
Even if he expects it. Like I was saying, I was talking to a coach this week, and I was saying, well, the Rams can just do what the Packers did. Packers had a bad run defense. They loaded up, stopped the run, did a really good job against the run. And he was like, well, yeah, but the Rams don't have Kenny Clark. The Rams don't have any beef on their D-line, and that is a shot at Aaron Donald. It's like the Niners are the one team that can turn Aaron Donald from the biggest asset on defense to, frankly, liability. He's not who you want in the game against the run. He's not. Neither is Von Miller. No. So that's why the Niners match up. So, I mean, everyone else, when you watched the Bucs game and it was clear that they weren't going to hand off to Leonard Fournette for 35 times, it was like, well, you're going to have a major problem. You're going to have a major problem. And I don't have that problem.
Who is the other top player on defense?
Ramsey.
You could completely take him. He doesn't matter. If you just run the football, he doesn't matter.
Yeah, so they'll put him on Kittle. Niners don't even throw to Kittle anymore. So what? You just throw to the guy who's not covering. We'll throw to Ayuk. Okay, you cover Ayuk, we'll throw to Kittle. I was hand off to Debo anyway. Wait, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's a big reason why I still don't imagine. I couldn't put money on the Rams. I don't bet, but I could not put money on the Rams this week. Like they could win. They certainly could win. I mean, maybe they'll get the hand of God. Maybe God is just maybe he's really setting up the Niners fans. Maybe he wants Niner fans to cry, and maybe that's what this is all about. God works in mysterious ways, but you never know which side he's going to be on. Could be the Rams this week. It's crazy. Okay, let's finish up the questions. It's crazy to think that if Jimmy wins a Super Bowl, Stans will hold him in the same regard as Steve and Joe. One of those things is not like the others. It's going to be worse than that because Niner fans have been waiting for 20-something years, and he's going to now be on Joe Montana status because he ended the drought. He will be the Messiah. He'll be Moses. He will brought the team to the promised land after 25 years in the desert. That's Joe Montana status. Steve was never appreciated because he wasn't Joe. He didn't win as much as Joe. No. Jimmy will vault past Kaepernick, Garcia, Steve, and be on the same level as Joe, and it will really, really get me. Oh, my God, it'll get to me. And I think it'll get to Kyle, too. I don't know if Kyle let that happen. Kyle understands football history. I don't think Kyle let it happen. Kyle, don't let that happen. Don't let that happen.
Lose. Don't let that
No, just call 3 passes in the Super Bowl. Do that.
It's not going to matter.
It's an affront to football history. It's an affront to football gods. When the home team is the one that swept the visiting team of a playoff game 12-8, my point is in this scenario, the better team is the one that should win.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter if Jimmy throws 1 pass in the Super Bowl and they win, then they're still going to QB wins.
Perfect pass. Yeah, McKinnon looking like a weapon now with Mahomes. That's one reason I don't really believe in the Chiefs is the sheer number of plays that go through Jared. What?
Right.
But maybe that's God's sense of humor too there, that the Niners are going to end up losing to Jared McKinnon in the Super Bowl. How about that? That could be the one right there. I'm a Jimmy G fan, but you are right about Jimmy. Why does he keep making rookie mistakes? So here is some money for you from a Jimmy G fan. Thanks. Hey, thanks, man. I don't know. I'm going to ask him next time, like, Jimmy, why do you keep making the same mistakes? And he'll be like, I don't know, man. We got to do better. Yeah. Ever been another quarterback whose only 2 healthy seasons have a top 2 and 3 defense and a top 2 and 7 run game, respectively? Win-loss would likely be similar. Yeah. No, but it's Jimmy's the reason that they have these run games and defense. You don't understand. He motivates them to be better because they know that they have to win the game because Jimmy can't.
Yeah.
That's leadership. Guys, I'm not going to win the game. In fact, I'm going to probably be working against you. At certain points, you're going to be wondering if I'm point shaving. But no, I'm just trying to make you guys play better.
It's motivating. He's the best motivator in the NFL.
I bet big on Jimmy as an underdog. Love the Jimmy hate. Here's Mike T again. Thank you, Mike. When he wins, we're at $20. When he wins, we all win. Here's another 10. Oh, it's $10. I would also bet my life that Jimmy has already taken Niners further twice than Trey ever will. If you really think that, you're going to give me another $10. If you really think that thanks, Mike. I really do appreciate you, man. But this is my Jimmy Garoppolo.
Is that Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, it might be Mike Tomlin. Jimmy Garoppolo fans get themselves in these modes on my live stream where they're like betting. But like, no, you're just donating. But I appreciate it. Do the Niners dog the Rams? Trying to see Kittle pancake Vaughn again. Niners are an LA team. Finesse. Rams an LA team. Finesse. They don't want the smoke. Debo at LA scary. RIP Tommy Lister. That's the original Debo. Yeah, I don't think the Rams want the smoke. I think it's the biggest factor, the smoke factor. I bet big on Trey. I would also bet my life that Trey will take the Niners further twice than Jimmy can ever win. I don't think the Niners are going to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy. I think they can come close. They came 6 minutes away 2 years ago. They might come closer this year, but I don't know. I don't understand a world where a guy can play this poorly and win a Super Bowl. I don't know. But you always learn new things in life.
I don't know either. Like after Saturday, I was just kind of floored that they won that game. Like how they could possibly win a divisional playoff game with basically no quarterback.
Well, they had the 12th man, and it was God. I need everyone to apologize to Armstead. Yeah, I do apologize to Armstead. You're a hell of a player. I wish you would have flipped the switch a little earlier. He definitely flips it on and off, and it's on. It's on.
Yes and no. I agree with a little bit of that, but I think the big part of that is he was playing out of position. Like his position has always been defensive tackle or a 3-4 defensive end. He was never a 43 defensive end. A lot of that goes on. I mean, sorry, but Salah. Like with Salah's.
Hold on though. You're right. But through week 17, the man had 3.5 sacks. That's all I'm saying. And like I know that he's been racking up pressures and he's never been a bad player. But this whole like super impactful Eric Armstead, it's a 3-game streak. He had 2.5 sacks against the Rams, and they were all clutch. He had 1 sack against the Dallas, it was clutch. He had 2 sacks last week. He has freaking 6.5 sacks in the last 3 games. That's unreal. But where the hell was this? I just feel like he flips a switch. I don't think he's necessarily that guy that gives the same exact effort every week. I'm not saying he dogs it, but he has this in him. And if he could do this all the time, because that's kind of what they're paying for, it'd be great. So I would just say, hey, just never turn the switch off. It's on, keep it on for the rest of your career. And I'm not saying a sack and a half a game, but like, kind of.
I mean, it's harder on the interior though to get to.
You play next to Bosa though. It's not just you and Bosa anymore either. Like you do have some one-on-ones. Keep doing this. You have it in you. As much as Jimmy sucks, Tony Soprano would be proud of his outfits. He comes out with a lot of gold. It's pretty cool. He got the gold. I even want to be like, man, I need more gold. Last time I saw him, I was like, I don't have enough gold. I don't have any gold.
Yeah.
Let's thank Eric Thomas for motivating the team. Oh, yeah. What do you think the final score will be versus LA? I'm not telling you.
He'll tell you on what, Friday or Saturday? Friday or Saturday, right?
Secret. Got to keep you on the edge of your seats. That's our show, man. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. These shows are getting unruly. Whew. Thanks for hanging with me, man. I know you're in Brazil. Got better things to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Fans keep giving you money, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. The Jimmy Garoppolo fans. Here's $5 in your face. No, Mike T. Thank you for all your generosity. It was very nice of you today. I didn't.
I have a final question. Do you think when they move on to Trey Lance, you think the Trey Lance fans will be as generous?
Probably not. I don't know. That's a good question. Anyone who swears Jimmy is the reason they win or he takes the team to wins is just stupid. Dude just does as much as bad as good. I hate people. He does more bad than good. This year in the playoffs, he's doing more bad than good in the sense that he's scored no touchdowns. None. Not one touchdown. Touchdowns are overrated. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not a Jimmy.
You don't need touchdowns to win football.
Touchdowns. Yeah. Interceptions don't matter and touchdowns don't matter. Not a Jimmy Garoppolo lover, but it's beyond stupid to point at his numbers when he's injured and needs surgery like it defines his ability like ESPN, et cetera, are doing. We know Jimmy's ability. We know that it's compromised right now because he's hurt. He gets the excuses. He wants the excuses. He gets the excuses. I would take it a step further. Jimmy, thank you for all you've done, but you're injured. Take a seat right here. Right there. Hold that clipboard, but not too hard because you're hurt. Not too hard. I'm sorry. They just came in real quick. We'll take them, then we'll go. Games are not won on a stat sheet, and there's a reason. Aaron Rodgers, who pouts and ignores his teammates on the sidelines, is home this week, and Jimmy is not. That's true. God was thinking, whose punt am I going to block? But then he saw Aaron Rodgers pouting and ignoring his teammates, and he saw Jimmy galvanizing his teammates and said, this is punishment. This is the football God. Like, that's why you don't pout. You're right, Paul. You're right. I agree. These are the little things that we learn via Jimmy. Jimmy makes rookie mistakes, but in QBR and 2-minute drills, third best in the NFL. You see the same rookie mistakes with Trey, but without 2 minutes, QBR equals more losses. Mike T again. How was Jimmy in Dallas? Yeah. He's not good in the playoffs, man. How was he in Kansas against Kansas City in the Super Bowl? All of his clutchness, that's a regular season reputation, man. In the playoffs, he crumbled on a quarterback sneak, which is his bread and butter. Bread and butter. It's the best thing he does. So I don't know about that clutchness thing. He needs to show it in the playoffs. Playoffs. I'll continue being generous. Keep it up, Grand Trey area. Thank you, man. You guys aren't letting the show end. No, it's over. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be back this afternoon with Jack to break down Jimmy Garoppolo's
clutch play.